Hello everyone, my name is Julia and today in this video we'll be working with roots in Kojic App Builder. Basically, roots are used to specify which page to display when a user performs some action like entering some URL in address bar or using the back and forward buttons in browser or even clicking on some links of navigation in your app. In this video we will make some basic root settings in application to enable the root navigation. Here, as you can see, we have a simple application with only two pages. The one which is to display an error message on the page, and another one is to store some information about some task to do. So to go to the settings of our root navigation, we first of all go to the app settings, and here we need to go to the root block. And here, as you can see, we have one default root, which is actually for a root path in your application. In our case, it is to open a new to-do page. And let's try to add some new root, for example, to create a new error page now, which will have a default view, and the URL will be unavailable for the case when we need to display some error, as I have mentioned before. And now, after saving our application, we would publish it to see the result and trying to open our page with using the root created. And now we are ready to open our application and to test our root. So here we have our main root page, and entering our newly created root into the address bar and opening this page, we are now redirected to the error page. And as you can see here, the basic alias is used, which is an app and ID of your application. But if you want to use your own domain or to create some more user-friendly hosted at kojic.com, what you can do, you can go to the managing of your aliases, which is actually a domain management. And here, selecting the application, you can add some new domain for it. For example, the one which could be todoskojic.com. And now after adding, you can save and use this one. Also, what you can do, you can try to use your own one. For example, mine is .tag, and if I will try to edit and save the changes, I will get the message telling us that this mine URL is not pointed to the kojic.com, so I need to go to my domain management, there point my URL to this specified out here, and only then, after waiting for some response for about 24 hours, I'll be able to host my application at my own domain. But now let's delete it for now, as we don't have so many time. So we delete this one, and we will try to work with newly created todoskojic.com alias. Now going back, we leave this page and let's try to create a new root. As you can see, we hadn't specified any alias for the previous roots, that is why they are available for both. But let's try to create some new root which will be only available for the alias we have created before, which is to-dos. And let's open some new page. For example, let's try to create a new state for our task in this page, and let's call it create state root, and we have no view, so the default one will be used. And now, after saving and publishing our application, we will try to open our app with using a new alias to do apps, and also to check out if these roots are available for the both of them, and this one to be available only for a to-dos one. So now let's try to open our application with a default alias, and if we will try to use our newly created root for this app, we will have an error. But if we will open our application with a new alias instead, with a to-dos alias, here, as you can see, a default page is also working, as we hadn't specified any alias for this root. But here, when we will enter and create state, as you can see, we are redirected to the page where we can create some new instance of a state type. Great. Going back to our settings, we will now create a new root. So out here, let's try to check and test some new actions for different roots. So let's try, for example, to create a view all instances for to-dos, for example, selecting a default view, and the URL will be the following, like view all, and let's make it available for both our aliases. So after saving and publishing, we'll try to open a view all page to see all the tasks we have in our to-do collection. So first of all, we will use it on our default alias, entering view all out here. And as you can see, we now see the list of all existing to-dos, and the same we do for another alias, also entering a view all root, and the same we are redirected to a page with to-dos. And now let's go back to our roots and also try to test an action, for example, for editing some instance. For example, let's try to edit some task, but we don't have any set instance, so let's try to check a state. And here we have two instances, so let's try to edit it with no view, and let's call our action edit state, and let's create it only for our basic default alias. And again, after saving and publishing, we will test it on our app. And now we can open our application, and entering our edit state route to the address bar, we are now redirected to the page where we can edit the instance of a state type. But what if we have the situation when we need to be redirected to some page via some of created routes in a code block editor? Let's try to do this in our to-do page. So we'll try to go to our form and add some button with an action on it. And let's, for example, try to open a view all page with a route on the click on this button. So what we do is specify a title for this button, which will be a view all, to see all the tasks we have in our to-do collection. And we then create an action before server action to be redirected to the view all page. So now we are redirected to the code block editor, and here, as you can see, we have a special block of code blocks which is called links, which is also used for application navigation. So we have a special block to open some new page in different options, like a new browser tab or new Kojak tab, but let's try to open it in a new browser tab. And also we have a special block to specify the relative URL, which is in our case a string with our root specified, which is called view all. And now let's try to save and publish our application to see if the click on our button will open a new browser tab with a page with a root of view all. So now we can open finally our application to test a new functionality. So on click on this button, we are now redirected to a page with a route we have specified, which is view all, where we can see all our tasks in a to-do collection. And if you need some more details about how to work with links navigation in Kojak App Builder, we have a special tutorial, and we will leave a link to this tutorial in the video description. So I hope that your experience with routes and aliases in Kojak App Builder will be better now. Thanks for watching. Bye.